Hi everyone, hope you all doing well. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about data collection rule structure, and this is something which will help you save a lot of data ingestion cost when it comes to Azure Log Analytics Workspace. Now, fundamentally, if you're saving data ingestion cost, since parallelly we are also learning Sentinel, you will have a lot of cost reduced for Sentinel analytics as well. Okay, so fundamentally, if you are using any service where Azure Log Analytics Workspace is being used for data ingestion, this video is going to help you. Okay, now the data ingestion cost, let's say for a workspace, can only be reduced if you reduce the build size for each event. Okay, let's understand what all I mean by this. Okay, so every log analytics workspace will have tables, and each and every event that is getting ingested in log analytics workspace is basically termed as a record. And for each and every event which is getting ingested in a specific table in log analytics workspace, there will be a calculated build size. Okay, so the data ingestion cost can only be reduced if you reduce the build size. Let me show you this, and then things will make a lot more sense. So what you see right now is one of my workspace, basically the workspace which I'm using in my Sentinel playlist. And here I'm actually querying common security log table. And here I'm trying to find the first record by time generated. And I'm trying to project build size. You can see it shows 737. However, from the same machine from which I'm collecting common security log, I have also forwarded the data to one of my other workspace. You can see Sentinel is mentioned over here, but here you can see the build size has been reduced to 551. Okay, so if practically you do simple maths, okay, that by default the data ingestion for each and every event for common security log is 737 bytes to be very precise. And if I have done some customization, it's around 551. Okay, so if you do simple maths, assume that there is around 100 GB of data ingestion that's happening in your enterprise for this particular table with default data ingestion, assuming this is the build size that you are getting. Just assume this is all a hypothetical scenario to make you understand how exactly you can reduce the build size. Okay, but then you applied some customization, and now you are actually avoiding certain attributes or certain, let's say, columns which are not required. You can see the data ingestion has been reduced. Okay, so this is how you can plan a very effective data ingestion, and that's why I always say this, that you have to be very specific with the data ingestion. Now, since log analytics workspace is something that can be used for n number of different scenarios, but what you have to make sure that you do proper data filtering before ingesting the data. So this is where I will make you reach after you complete these 4 or 5 videos which are being added. Okay, so the very last thing is how exactly you're going to achieve all this, which I have shown. Now, this can be done by adding custom queries to data collection rule, because Azure Log Analytics Workspace uses ETL phenomena to ingest data. Now, what do I mean by this? That ETL typically stands for extract, transform, and load, which basically means that if there is any transformation that has to be applied to a specific data getting ingested, then it should be applied before the data getting ingested. So our goal after, let's say, completing these 4 or 5 videos is to understand how to reduce build size by adding custom KQL queries to data collection rule. And this is the most advanced kind of configuration which is available. And I hope that whatever I am showing, you will be able to replicate this in your environment as well. Okay, now the question is, why exactly all this we are learning? Because see, this is the query that you have to place in data collection rule itself. Now, it doesn't matter whether you are using Windows machine for data ingestion or Linux machine or API. Okay, you have to add custom KQL in data collection rule. And that's the reason why it is very important for us to understand the structure of data collection rule. Now, fundamentally, every data collection rule, let's say for Windows or Linux, will have immutable ID, then data sources, which type of data is getting collected, then destination, log, analytics, workspace, detail. Then in the data flow, this destination will be mapped, as well as stream will have the table name, where exactly the data is getting ingested. But this section that you see over here is the most important section, because here exactly you will be adding KQL queries through APIs, and then this all this transformation of saving your costs when it comes to data ingestion can be applicable. Also, there will be one more section for generic properties. So let me go back to my browser and show you two data collection rules quickly so that it will be easy for you to relate. Okay, so let's say here I go and let's say choose Windows DCR, and if I click on JSON view, okay, so you can see the first section is properties and immutable ID. Now, this is something which I've also shown in my data ingestion video for AMA agents, that how exactly you can track this ID getting mentioned on the machine itself. Similarly, if I'll show you the one for Linux, this is DCR for Linux, you can see this section is same. So fundamentally, this section is same for Windows and Linux. The next section typically talks about the data sources. You can see I am actually capturing performance as well as syslog. So you can see there are two dedicated data sources which are defined. So let's say if I minimize this, you can see performance counter. And if I minimize this, you can see syslog. Okay. So if I come back to this again, you can see data source typically shows you the log type, which is getting captured. Now, this will be same in Windows as well. If I'll go ahead and minimize this, you can see Windows event logs. Then you have destination. Now think about it. In this DCR, I'm actually ingesting performance log in one dedicated workspace and security events in a different workspace altogether. That's why you see two different entries coming over here. The very first one is performance monitoring workspace, and the other one is Sentinel workspace. Okay, this is exactly what I've shown in my Sentinel series, right? Similarly, if I'll come here, you'll see one single entry because everything is getting ingested to one single workspace itself. Okay, so which is this one, Sentinel, when it comes to syslog. Okay, now if you see the next section, okay, since here I'm talking about Linux, this is a different data flow mapping that exists for performance monitoring itself. Okay, now that's the reason why you can see that here, if I'll come back to my Windows section, it shows me performance counter, okay, getting ingested to Microsoft-perf table. You can see this from here. And if I come down, it shows me the same data flow mapping. Okay, you can see it shows me streams, the actual table where the data has to be ingested and for which workspace. Similarly, if I come here again, you can see Azure Monitoring Matrix. This is the actual stream which is defined here in performance counter. You can see Microsoft-Insight Matrix. Okay. Now, if you see the data flow section, it has two dedicated sections, streams and destination. And that's exactly what I've shown you here, stream and destination. Stream basically means the table where the data has to be ingested, and destination means which log analytics workspace. Now, if I'll scroll down and take a pause here, then this is the most important section where we will be applying all the customization. So let's say if there are certain security event, let's say columns that you have to remove, then we have to apply that filter over here. It's not applied as of now because that's exactly what I'm going to show you, because all these customizations will be done through APIs itself. So as of now, this is the dedicated section where all the custom KQL queries should be applied. Let me just show you one example which we will be covering specifically for CEF, and then things will make a lot more sense. Okay, so let's say if I'll scroll down the section now. So what do you see here? There's a difference, right? In data flow section, apart from having stream and destination, there is one more dedicated section of transform KQL. Okay, let me show you this side by side with the help of a notepad. So this is what we are getting in the CEF custom data ingestion rule. However, if I'll show you the one for Linux, you are not getting any transformation KQL getting listed. Okay, so see, this is what we are getting. I think it's not copied properly. Let me go ahead and copy it again. Or let me copy this entire section of data flow. Okay, and paste it here. So you can see this section is having a dedicated section of transform KQL. Okay, and then there is also need to be a dedicated output stream where this data has to flow once the transformation has been done. Okay, so this is the section which we have to understand end to end before we go ahead and do all these exceptionally advanced configuration. Okay, now the reason why I'm explaining everything in a detail, because see, if anything that you're trying to achieve is missed for some reason, then you will not get the expected results. And what I'm explaining right now is exceptionally complicated because there is a dedicated data filtering session that you should do with your own data, practically speaking, and I'll guide you with that as well. So this was the Windows and Linux data collection rule structure. However, if I'll show you the one which will be mostly generic, or let's say if you have selected the option of API data ingestion, or let's say you have selected the option of all, then this is how the data collection rule structure will look like. Okay, so let me open the one which I have created for API as well, and which was core data collection rule or custom table data ingestion. Let's open this one. Now all these DCRs that I'm showing right now is something which I have covered in my Sentinel playlist. So if there is anyone who has not seen that particular playlist, you can go ahead and watch that video or watch that series as well. Okay, so if you see this particular DCR, it also shows you data collection endpoint, because if you guys remember that for Windows and Linux using AMA agent, you don't need a DCE, which is basically a data collection endpoint. However, if you're performing custom data ingestion, if there is a dedicated table that you have created, then this is something which is required. That's why it is here. Then again, the process remains same, apart from this particular section, which is stream declaration. Now this basically means that there is a custom table which has been created, and this is the schema of that particular table. Now if I'll scroll down, everything will be same. If I'll come back here, you can see data source, log type, destination and everything, and this entire part will again be same. Now if you can see this particular section, I have specifically mentioned that customizing this section can help you save a lot of cost. Okay, now let me just quickly show you what all I have done, and this will give you an idea that what exactly we are going to achieve. Okay, so let's say if I go ahead and just project everything for one of my common security log entry, just assume. Okay, now you can see that device version and device event class ID is something which I don't need. Just assume this as a hypothetical scenario. And then I also don't need additional extensions, because in my case, everything is, the parsing part is happening as expected. And then there are certain columns, let's say for flex, flex label or something like that. Yeah, any of these is something which I don't need. So then what I have done is I have actually removed those values while the data is getting ingested with the help of transformation KQL. So what do you see here now? The other workspace where the transformation has been applied, there is no option of device version or device event class. You can see it's only device vendor and device product. These two columns, they don't exist here. Okay, because the value itself is not available. Okay. However, let's say if I go back in some time, and if I just do, let's say, a summarization of count by device event class ID, let's see if I'm getting anything. Perfect. So you can see that the value for this particular attribute was coming in the past because there was no customization which has been applied. However, once the customization is applied, which is almost 3 days back, then there is no information available in these particular in this particular column altogether. Okay. Now, how exactly it is done? Because with the help of Azure REST API, I have added a KQL in the transformation section of my rule, which is this one. And here exactly what I am doing is I am projecting away these many columns. Now, the fundamental reason is I don't need these columns because I'm not going to use them in any of the query that I'm going to write for, let's say, for any alert, or assume that I have done my data analysis. And I think that if I can remove all these columns, it's not going to make any difference in my, let's say, investigation, which I will be doing in the upcoming future. Okay. So there is a dedicated kind of analysis that needs to be done for each and every table type, and that's exactly what I will be showing you in my next video. And that is something which is going to help you to get to the roots that how exactly you're going to create a custom query altogether, which you will be adding in the DCR. Okay, so a quick recap in terms of understanding how we can save a lot of data ingestion cost. This was a DCR which I have customized in my instance to make sure that the common security log dumps certain columns for each and every event. Okay, so this was the default section which was showing data sources and everything, and then you have the destination where exactly the data has to be ingested. And then comes the most important part, which is of adding a transform KQL, or let's say a custom KQL query that we have written that should remove the data ingestion for certain columns. Okay, so I think now it's exceptionally clear in terms of understanding how the data collection rule structure is defined. In the next video, I'm going to talk about filtering data analysis. I mean, how exactly you should filter the data, or what all practices you should follow to make sure you reach a stage where you can define or decide that, yes, this is the attribute that I practically don't need. Okay. So if you think that this channel is helping you to learn anything new, please feel free to subscribe and share this video with your technical community. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.